Hi guys, my name is Mina Loni and today we want to speak about object-oriented programming. Let's see what is object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming is a style of programming or a programming paradigm which is centered around object rather than function. It is a very common style of programming and lots of popular programming languages such as C#, Java, Python, and JavaScript use object-oriented programming. The main purpose of object-oriented programming is to reduce the effect of changing, and when one part of program change doesn't affect the other parts. And also, new frameworks and popular frameworks such as Angular designed for object-oriented programming. If you want to be a good developer, if you want to be a good programmer, and if you want your resume to stand out between other candidates, you should know what is object-oriented programming. Okay, let's see what is the core concepts of object-oriented programming. Object-oriented programming has 4 pillars: encapsulation, abstraction, inheritance, and polymorphism, which I will speak about them one by one. The first concept is encapsulation. What is encapsulation? Before object-oriented programming, we had procedural programming. You can see here our program. We had some data that is stored in variables and some functions which operates over these data. As our program grew, we had lots of functions which had interrelationship with each other, and they send and receive messages with each other. If you wanted to change one function, you should change another function, so you had lots of copy and pastes, and it was very complicated to change the program. In encapsulation, we put related variables and function in one capsule called object. In the object, data or variables called property and functions called method. They have relation with each other. And if you change one of them, you don't need to change all data and all functions in your program. So it is very easy to change. 1, 2, 3. So with encapsulation, we will reduce our complexity. Another concept is abstraction. By abstraction, we can hide some of properties and methods from the outside. Using an understanding object with fewer properties and methods is easier and faster. So if you change one inner private method, you do not need to change all your program, and it doesn't impact to all of your code. So you will have simpler interface and you will reduce the impact of change. Next concepts are inheritance and polymorphism, which are related to high level of programming. However, inheritance is the process of creating the new class by extending the existing class, and polymorphism is the process when an object or function take different forms. We don't actually explain them more because we don't use them in our class. This is an example of our program. You can see in object-oriented programming, we have several objects. Each object has its name, its attributes, and behaviors. Behaviors are actually our functions or our methods, and they send and receive messages with each other. So generally our program work and we will have our application. So we can say that the benefits of object programming is encapsulation, which reduces complexity and increase reusability; abstraction, which reduces again complexity and isolate impact of changes; inheritance, which eliminate redundant code; and polymorphism, which refactor ugly switch case statements. Now we want to see what is class, what is object, and what is the difference between them. Now we want to see what is class, what is object, and what is the differences between them. If you understand the concept of class and object, you will be a good object-oriented programmer. So it's very important. Here is an example. A famous example is the car example. You can see here the car class is like a plan, the plan of a car, and the objects are the real cars that They have model, they have color, and they have make, and they have some functionality like start, stop, and move. In our program, our class is like this. It is one class that have make, model, color, and some functionality. If you give some values to these properties, for example, you give the model BMW and you give the color blue, you will have this object, the object of BMW car. We can say that object is referred to an instance of class. Object is a physical entity and class is a logical entity. Object is created many times, but class declared once, and many more differences, which is very important to learn. When you make an application in C# or any object-oriented languages, the app consists of building blocks called classes. These classes collaborate with each other, and as a result, the application works with some functionality. As the application grows, we will have also another partitioning which names as namespace. So we'll have some namespaces which contain some classes, and generally we will have our executive code, which is our application. Thank you for watching my video. In my next video we will have a quick tour of Visual Studio and we will build a very basic C# application. Bye guys!